Hello and welcome. This is Magic of Boot. Welcome to the new edition. This is Ronnie Mazumdar. I have Shudipta Roy with me. How are you doing, Shudipta?
I'm good. How are
I'm
you?
doing good as well. Just to let you know that we have recorded in the meantime, and unfortunately, some technical difficulty arose, and that whole recording went into bin, basically, in garbage. Um, so here again, we are going to talk about freshly try to be focus on Euro 2020 final that happened at Wembley between England and Italy. Um, your thought about that game?
Well, I expected more from England, but in the end, the best team won, so I don't have any complaint. But it didn't look like a final actually. Like I expected more from, like at least more attacks from England when they went ahead and
Right.
they could actually put more pressure on
The
Italian
game
defense.
started at kind of blistering pace for England, and then they have taken the lead. Luke Shaw was the man who scored the goal, and Italian were kind of panicked, at least at the start of the game, and they were under immense pressure. There was huge amount of crowd backing England, so everything was looking very rosy for England, and indeed looked like that it was coming home. But after that, um, Gareth Southgate basically decided that that's enough. We'll absorb the pressure for the full 90 minutes. And um, why would I mean, I understand absorbing pressure and everything. It's a final and everything, but still, 1-0 is such a slim lead. Were you kind of disappointed or surprised by? I should say not disappointed. I should say, were you surprised by the approach that Southgate have taken?
Well, I thought at first, like in the first half, they are just making sure everything is goes like everything is going well for the first half. I thought like there will be more attacks in the second half, there will be more changes in the second half, but
The
in the end, it wasn't
Sorry,
actually,
go ahead.
and I don't know, like also like it seemed silly to defend with like one line only defend ahead of like only two defensive midfielder uh, to defend like 90 minutes. So I was kind of surprised. Like I thought they would attack more because if you notice that like they actually squeezed Italy in the first 10-15 minutes in the middle. They could actually
Yeah,
have this goal. Even they scored the goals from crosses from one wing back to another wing back. So I thought it would be more. There would be more right because those players have this quality. Like like I said this before in
yeah,
our
yeah,
ruined recording. Like it's like having a dog and like making him stay at home all the day, and it feels specific for those players like
yeah.
Sterling and
There's a lot of
Bale
talent, and
and Mount,
what I was
and
more surprised is
also like
I
as
could
players
understand
from the bench
defending
like
and
Foden,
absorb
Rashford,
the pressure because England
Sancho.
have done that probably throughout the tournament, and even before, if we have noticed English kind of the way they play. But there was no teeth or tooth at all after Italy were trying frantically to come back to the game, and they were kind of panicking. And I thought against aging defense line of the Italy, there were enough English players who could have run at them. Uh, and I was kind of surprised of seeing Sterling on that other flank, not on that left flank as well, because he was so successful throughout the tournament. cutting inside and going to the defenders. And all of a sudden, you have Harry Kane, who doesn't really like to stay up in the and put some pressure on uh, the other center backs of the oppositions. And then all of a sudden, there is Italy was playing almost entire game to the England's half. Oh, we'll take a quick look at the tactical board, but in terms of events that has happened in this game, it's been very limited. I'll quickly just go over there, and we'll come back and have our um, opinion as well. So this is how both teams were lined up. Uh, so basically, Donnarumma, Bonucci, Chiellini, and Emerson constitute the back four. Jorginho, Verratti, and Barella, as well as Immobile, Insigne, and Chiesa was a started for Italy. England went with three centre backs: Walker, Stones, and Maguire, with Pickford on the back, Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice as a two defensive midfielders. Trippier and Shaw gave them some weight. Sterling on the right hand side, Kane and Mount. Um, when the game started, I mean, the ball the, the the ball basically came in from that side of the pitch, and somehow the Italian defense were more kind of drawn towards there, and Shaw got that opportunity at the far post. He was unmarked and the free man, and fortunately he scored. I think it was the fastest goal in the entire Euro, or even could be Euro final as well. After that, England basically decided to not attack anymore. They just went back to their shell. There was not much happening tactically other than they were soaking some pressure. Mount was trying hard
Yes.
defensively, and Sterling is coming and filling up the gap as well. So what just happened with the Italian team is basically Di Lorenzo doesn't like to go up much because of the way it was. Spinazzola was attacking when Spinazzola was playing. So Emerson tried to get into the game with Insigne right there, and Verratti was trying to um, get some passing going with Jorginho and get this tempo set up, while Barella was very frantic and he was not calm on the ball, as well as Immobile needs some kind of space to roam around, and he was not getting much space at the first half, definitely. And Chiesa, I thought, was running really hard, and at certain point was definitely raising some question for English defense, but wasn't really doing enough at the first half. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
correct. That's
those
correct.
are like uh, discrete events in the game, like KSS runnings around this area. But also, like I would add, they
Yes.
were creating only one line with these two defensive midfielder over there. Yeah, and they actually have a good job, to neutralize Immobile. They did some work with Insigne also. Only Chiesa was
Yeah,
creating something. He
yeah,
took a
he
shoot
was.
in the first half um, from around this area
Yeah,
actually, but
there
it was
were
a long
enough
range shoot. It
space
could
for people like Mount or
it
Sterling to
wasn't
run on
actually
them,
that
and also
interesting
get
actually.
some challenge to Bonucci,
But
or at least Harry Kane could have been the one who could have
I don't know,
just
like they could
pushed them
actually
back
break
early.
in the English
But
side,
on the game, you could
which
see
I cannot
Barella and Verratti or
build up
Jorginho were telling
there.
their center backs to push up, push up, push up,
So yeah,
as
they could
well
actually
as
break in with these Indian
in
defenders
the
and
second half. I thought Mancini made some very good changes. He has taken
yeah,
off Immobile and put out Belotti, with a very different kind of striker. Berardi was brought in, and
yeah.
I think Barella was taken off, as well as Locatelli was there. Um, and what that did for it created more pressure. Belotti tried to put pressure on the
Yeah,
center backs, and they went more deeper.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And it also changes the shape because Locatelli was playing like this, and
Yeah, and
Barella,
also bringing
Chiesa
on
was moving in this area,
Florenzi
like
instead of Di
trying
Lorenzo
to
is a more
make
attacking-minded
confuse this
wing back.
defensive
So
midfielders,
gave them a
and
lot of
it's
up
more like
front,
a
and
4-2-3-1
still
shape,
England
which is like really unusual
chose
for
not
Italy
to
in this
not to attack.
tournament. But
They did bring on Saka in place of
yeah,
Mount,
they were
and
actually
Saka had
trying
that
to get numbers
incident with Chiellini, where Chiellini
uh,
basically
around the
hold
box.
his shirt up. Other than that, there was not much actually happening. I must say that the two
Yeah,
defensive midfielders from England, Phillips and Rice, had a very good tournament, and I thought Rice was kind of exhausted, and it's not easy to defend in numbers always, and
yeah,
brought in. Yeah,
yeah,
right. We'll come back to the penalties right ahead, but tactically nothing really
yeah,
happened, and
yeah.
I was really really
Like
it was
it's
really
not
really
possible
strange
to
to
like
see
like
England
players
really
like
didn't exploit these
like
areas,
any attacking
which
players for like 90
against
minutes. It's not
aging
possible.
Chiellini and
And
Bonucci,
yeah, like
with
Anderson was
some really young talent such
like
as
Henderson brought in, yeah,
there was
and
Rashford who never
I
came
thought
out. He came out for penalties.
he'd be
Sancho, such
one
an
of the
exciting
penalty
player,
takers in the end.
never
Like
really
if
given
it
the time.
goes to penalties.
Yes. Yes, but yeah, in terms of tactically, there was not. I mean, obviously from Italian side, there were s- more substitution happened, such as Cristante came in. But what I'm talking about is, after Berardi came in, and England's left hand side with Maguire and Shaw got very busy, and Chiesa was drifting in and out on that side, and also making some runs, which was
And
not
he's
easy
one of the
to
best dribblers
defend.
in England
And
actually,
always, just a
right now.
reminder that just a second. Phillips was going and trying to press, while the other central midfielder or defensive midfielder was trying to cover. But they were not given. I would have probably preferred another extra midfielder on that area, because if you're not really going for going for counter attack, there is no point of having two wingers, or the striker itself. I mean, striker. I know Kane is a big star or superstar, but it could have been. I thought Rashford would have been a better choice for that, because of the aging Chiellini and Bonucci, and also the space that can be um, exploited. Anyway, anything else that I've missed tactically that happened in the game? It was almost like Italy playing the game, and England was trying to absorb without even proper resources.
Yeah, exactly.
And eventually Bonucci
Yeah.
basically got a goal from the set piece, which was a corner kick on the first in
Also
first
captain of
part.
the team. Yeah.
And after that, there was something that Italy were trying and England were trying to soak and playing for penalties. So I'll go back. I'll back out from this tactical board unless you have anything to add. Yeah,
And what,
yeah. There are a lot of points to uh, capture, but here it was very kind of plain,
yeah,
and that I understand people would like Euro and like Euro final better, but tactically there was not much happening in terms of complexity. It was very straightforward. Um, and as you said, Italy were the
no,
probably
not
the best
really.
team in the
It was
tournament,
really upsetting. Like
and probably the
the
best
match
team
went on
out of the
for
two.
like 120 minutes, and we
But
don't have
what
anything to
really
talk about. Like
made me a little bit
yeah,
upset
we talked
was
about
the
a lot
three
about it
penalty was taken by
Brazil and Argentina
three of the
matches, but
very young
the
players
four
of
of them,
England, and they're
yeah,
also after being missed, they were racially abused as well. Your thought on that?
yeah,
Any player can, yeah, any player can miss any penalties.
yeah, yeah. Well, it was upsetting. Like I kind of knew when Saka missed the last one. I thought that like yeah, it would happen. Like I was kind of expecting. Yeah, any players can do it. I saw this Mourinho interview where he was like telling that like anyone could miss it. He brought an example from his time
In
in
fire,
Real Madrid.
in fire. Yeah.
At the time, like in Champions League semi-final,
Also,
Cristiano Ronaldo missed
there are
it.
a lot of.
Sergio
There's
Ramos,
another
who's an
example
excellent penalty taker, who missed it. Kaká missed it. Like it's
that was
unbelievable. So
done in the
Lionel Messi is
last
like
moment. Yeah.
it is more recent. So like anyone could miss it, but you shouldn't actually like put your young players
Yeah,
who has
Henderson
like
is
the
one of the
whole
leaders
future
of the
ahead.
team,
Like
one of
you
the
get
experienced
him to
players, and very
play
good at
at least like
spot
two,
kicking.
three more
Uh,
Euros and like at least like two more World Cups. So uh, you cannot put your players like this
he's
in
a
the
Liverpool captain. Definitely, he
like
has the
it's like
experience
throwing
and,
them
and the composure.
in front of the
But
bus.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm in the same page as you. I couldn't understand why. Also, if you have to
and
put a
actually
talented player
I
like
actually don't
Sancho
understand
or
this
Rashford, both of
change.
them actually were
Um,
came in how long
they
ago? It wasn't
brought
very
in
long ago, a few
Henderson.
minutes probably.
Yeah, they brought in Henderson and they took him off, and I didn't actually get it. Actually, like
Yeah,
for me, technically, it doesn't make any sense.
yeah. That again frustrates me because I would like to see Sancho against
Yeah, and
Chiellini or
also
Bonucci.
he was
Like
the
they would have
captain
given
of the
him.
team
I mean,
like
he
for
would
a
have
while,
given
the
them
whole
a lot of
game.
hard time
So
than
he
just
would
sitting back.
be, I
Um,
don't know, he would come
so
on the
so it
right
seems that
ground.
we are a little bit critical of
Yeah,
Gareth Southgate for several reasons. One is the way he played after taking the lead, and also not making some counterattacks, which I would be very critical of because I don't know who can think of because Italy is probably
because
one of the
because
most
on
exciting
the
side in this Euro, and
120th
they have
they had
scored
like
an,
these 3 minutes of
a
extra
lot of
time
goals as
to
well.
get in touch with the
How
balls,
the
and they didn't. Sancho actually
how
didn't make any contact with
you
the
can
ball.
reach in conclusion that they will not score against you, just one goal advantage, and you have not given your midfield enough resources to plug the gaps as well. No, no.
And
Yeah, and
this
with such a slim lead, doesn't make sense. You have to defend for 90 minutes. I mean, what would it take? A
and
set
we
piece
have
or
seen this
something,
before.
and
Like
you're
remember in the
putting your
2006 World Cup when
arguably
they
two
were
most,
trailing
uh, def-
behind
you
someone
know,
some team actually they
talented
brought
defensive midfielders
every gun like
um,
Tony,
on the risk as
Valdiero,
well. And
all
I
of them
couldn't
were there.
understand.
Like that was the defensive
I
Italian side.
understand three
So
center
like
backs
this Italian
to
side,
start with.
they don't hold back.
Probably Kyle Walker could have been taken
They
off
don't
for
try to hold
someone
back.
to put it
It's
back
not
more to a
in
middle
their nature. Those players,
4-4-2
they
sort of
go
thing if
man
you're
to
trying
man.
to really defend with both
Players like
sides. But
Barella,
anyway,
Balotelli,
didn't happen. It
they
happened.
they
But
actually like
what I'm more critical
willingly
of Gareth
run for like
Southgate is that
180 minutes
that he
restlessly
decided
when
he
they
came
are
back.
ahead.
He came out
So
on the
like
media and said basically he
it's like
decided who is
inviting
going to take
in
the penalties, and he has
some
thrown his young
like
players
crocodile in your
under
house
the
or
bus.
something like this.
Didn't really protect them like Luis Enrique protected Pedri, who
Mhm.
was probably the best player in Spain, but he protected against you know shootout. Uh, he has taken off, so Pedri doesn't have to face similar situation. Yeah, go ahead, please. Yep. No.
And
Yes.
one more thing, like English
And
media
also
were
the
also like
that thing reminded me of Harry Kane
criticizing the
saying
senior
before the
players
Germany
not going
game,
ahead. Like Grealish
how that they're ready
went,
for penalties.
like
But
he didn't go ahead and
by looking
stuff
at
like this. But
how they were prepared,
Grealish
really,
actually defended that.
I
Like
didn't really mind
it
it.
wasn't
I
my
understand.
decision. He wanted
Go ahead.
to take penalty, but the coach actually decided that I don't know. Like if someone plays like Pele or Maradona in
Mhm,
the training ground, it's
mhm.
not the training ground situation. You know, in training ground,
Historically, they're
it's different. It's
historically
like
Italy and Germany
you are
are
playing with
better
your
penalty takers
mates.
than the
Like
English.
probably you will share a
Or
hotel
even
room with them.
or even say
But
for example there are certain teams
it's
who
not the
has
same.
certain experience,
It's a
maybe
ego
not
final,
directly the players but in the
and
dressing room. Say for example there's
they should
Roberto
actually
Mancini,
like
who shared
at least they should give
you know
some time. Like
a lot of
if
famous
you want
wins
to build like
as well as Gianluca Vialli.
working for
There's
the penalties, they
Gianfranco
should
Zola.
actually give them
There
some
are a
time.
lot of
So
people who can transfer that energy or transfer that wisdom. Um, while Gareth Southgate himself was one of the culprits who didn't score from penalties in 1996 Euros, and that game against Germany is basically what I saw that
and
in the Wembley in 2020
yeah, and if you see that like
final of Euro.
Italian players they took
Um,
penalties
so
like no
yeah,
one,
again,
like no
coming back to
one,
the
they knew
racially
where to put it,
abusing
when to put
and
it.
some sort of
But
arrogance
that
that
just
the English
he
fan have,
and if
or
you
certain English media have,
see the army,
um, you know,
yeah, I know.
before the game they were saying that it is coming home and they're quite certain about
or,
it, and
or
then
even Argentina
obviously
in
when
World Cup,
things
they
really didn't
actually
work out and
had a
they're yeah, it's somebody else's fault, and now the England didn't really win. But um, I saw the other day actually on the Twitter there was from Talksport another gentleman was talking about that they don't want Lionel Messi at age of 34. It's better he stays in the La Liga. He was basically referring to La Liga as a poor La Liga. So anyway, I think that these people
yeah.
are one of the major reason that it's definitely not coming home as long as these close-minded people and arrogant people are still on the charge. Um, yeah, yeah,
Well, now it's like they're pointing fingers to anyone they can. Like, it's so typical.
no, oh, yes. Um,
Yeah, we talked about this. Like this, they live in this island, like both literally and metaphorically, and they have this bubble that like our league is the best, and like every technique, every like techniques or every ideas we come up from there, or maybe some if someone wins Champions League, then they praise those people, and they don't actually like look around the world like they don't actually like think about like other team
yeah,
how
definitely.
other team could play. Like we have seen like mm, teams like
Yeah,
Senegal went to
such arrogance and
World Cup
cockiness is what is I can
in
or
2002.
we all can
Like
blame for the
every
downfall, and
team
obviously that's
we
close-mindedness
scored
that football doesn't
Euro.
happen beyond that English
England
soil.
could never do that.
Um,
Even Portugal
is what really
uh,
ruining
in
England and
2015.
probably will gonna ruin it
Every team has these different
for the years to
techniques
come.
and different
Um,
styles of play, and they,
Anything else to
they
add
like
on that final?
every team who own a tournament like Euro or World Cup or Copa America or like make I don't know like some great run like Croatia in the
Racially
last
abused, and
World
as
Cup.
well as
They always
Marcus
knew
Rashford's
their strength.
mural. There was a
They
mural that
always
was
play in their strength,
vandalized as well.
and they have their own technique. And if you don't actually like get cannot get yourself out of this bubble, like yeah, we are the owner of the football, and it has to come home or something like this. And this arrogance actually would lost you games, tournaments, and even like in next 50 years, I wouldn't see anything happens.
Middle class, yeah, yeah. David Beckham and
Well,
Paul Scholes. Yeah,
about this racial abuse or like I have like really sympathy for this players who got racially abused, but we have seen.
so you're kind of indicating that it is management how they basically
Yeah.
didn't know how to
So like
manage with
it's
this set of talented players, right?
I have really
Um,
sympathy for this players,
so
but
in that case, do you see any
we
kind
can
of
actually see this like
potential replacement that
there is this
is a British coach
video
or the English coach at this
see that
point?
in the internet. It has this map for
Yeah,
like
that's
every
true.
player, like
Uh,
where are they from, and they are
I
more like a down to earth guys. Like they can actually they came from real poor family or middle class family, and then it's more like a story of South America, and they are they are not the superstar like in 2000s we have seen from England, and this team has something actually. Yeah, these groups of player, they have something like it's like I said, like it's like holding your dogs
Well, Sterling is brilliant, but
job,
he has done well
like
for the national team.
to
Is
work with, yeah, exactly.
hmm hmm I somehow, when, if you remember at the very start of the time, when we were previewing the
I
whole
don't see
Euro,
any
we talked about England, and
creativity
I thought
coach right now.
England were missing.
To be
Yes,
honest,
Harry Kane is a star, but someone like
and
Patrick
they
Bamford,
are more pragmatic.
um,
Like
you know, they
I
were
don't know, they
missing
would
missing a
probably do
missing
old style
someone
Southgate.
who can move
He has done a lot of like
with the space, and I don't,
to
like,
build the
with
team.
greatest of
He
respect
did
to
it
the Harry
actually.
Kane, who is a
He
very good
built a
goal
team
scorer. He has
around
changed
Kane
into someone
or Sterling, or there are some cornerstone of this
who
team.
drops deep,
So he got new players like
and that
Phillips,
what it does, then
one of the best
it
players I have
relaxes the
seen
pressure from the
in
center back
Euro.
and doesn't really push them down
Also,
tactically
yeah,
to create
and
more gaps on the
there
lines.
are players like Sancho
Um,
who's coming.
so
Saka is
if you're playing Harry Kane
unbelievable.
as a striker, he could almost play as
Um,
a second striker at this point. I mean, the way
and
he plays, but
well,
they needed someone. I'm not
Sterling
saying that
Kane,
it had to be
there
Bamford, but
was
it
like
would
they
have been
are
nice
already
because
well established. So
of the
like I
pattern
was
of
saying,
his
like
movement.
potential
Um,
like 4 5 years plan.
yeah,
If you draw a 4 5 years plan,
definitely.
Kane probably would be there for like next one World Cup or probably next Euro. I don't know, but
Oh well. In that case, if we don't see really another clear replacement um,
Poacher.
for Gareth Southgate, I don't. Do you really think that this sort of way of playing might change come World Cup in 18 months?
He's more like a 9.5. Yeah.
And also the players basically probably got adapted to the system of playing like this. But that would be drastic, right? I mean, just before 18 months. Yeah, yeah.
Also, Dominic could play. Um, he's a I guess if you see the stat, he's like as good. I wouldn't say as good as Ronaldo, but he's like really close. Like considering how he turned the crosses uh, into the goal.
I mean, I've seen Rashford enough
I don't know.
for
I don't
Manchester
think so
United, and
actually. Like
Manchester United
the
itself
nature of the
is a
coach,
very
it,
kind of
it
defensive-minded team.
well,
They play on counter attack. Yes, and that's what. Yeah,
well, they have enough talent in the bench or even outside of this squad
yeah,
to like rebuild the whole
yeah,
team because like so many players are in form right now.
yeah.
Like at least like
Which didn't happen.
well, they
Uh,
could be dusty, but
I really
they don't
don't know
need
what
like
to
a
add
drastic
basically.
change.
But for the Italy,
They need
uh,
to like
how do you
this team can
how do you
play
feel
in like
about
two
Italy
different formations.
uh,
Like
being really not
three in the
qualifying
backs or
in
like four
2018
in the
World Cup
backs
now?
with
They're just what European
centering
champion
midfielder,
in the span of
like
two
four two
years.
three one, and also like three in the backs. So like they don't what they need is like a guy who can hold the ball in the middle, and that's it actually. And it's all about the mentalities from the coach. Like you could, if you say like
Yeah, he was on the
Raheem Sterling to
back
defend
side,
for like 90
not
minutes, it's not
on the
possible. He's not that
forefront.
bad actually.
I do remember
So does
Mancini when he was the coach of Inter Milan, who was a
Saka
very different
or
coach, like
Rashford
very
or
defensive-minded
Sancho.
coach.
They
I
are
think when he
not
came
this
back to the
not this
Manchester
sort of
City and
guys.
Manchester City was trying to transitioning. I mean, there were lot of players like Carlos Tevez and Edin Dzeko and other players were brought in, and later on Sergio Aguero and other players
But
were
they do
Mario
counter
Balotelli
attacks
and
actually
players like that were
with
brought
Fernandez
in,
and stuff. And even
Nigel de
sometimes
Jong and stuff like that.
sometimes
But that team
Rashford
had
makes
a
some
well
sort of
balanced attack
dribbling
and
or like
defense,
some
and
sort of
that
solo run in
probably
the corner
that
and put
experience
some
with
space on
Mancini
the
by
players
basically
like center
he's
backs.
changed his philosophical idea, and you can almost say with this Italy, they don't have just one way of playing. There are different ways of yeah, with a different profile. Yeah,
I would say only one thing, Bravo. Like how they came back in style actually, and
in between
how
the lines.
Mancini did
Yeah,
it. I really respect this coach for a while. Um, what he did for Man City, and then he was kind of hibernated, like from the
yeah.
top.
Uh, right, and also I thought his team talk was very important in the halftime because after the first half Italy were looking like kind of lost team and a little bit hurried. Yeah, after exactly, and the second half started, and they were kind of more calm and composed, and they knew what it's just a matter of one goal, and they're back in it. So, um, and there was a lot more build up and a lot more calmness on their passing and everything as well. So it's we always say that football is a game of tempo, and you can change tempo very quickly, and then it might suit your tempo, might suit your team, and that normally changes. So I think you know, the more I can talk about Mancini and how he used his entire
Mhm.
squad, not just the first 11,
Yeah,
but bring on the
when
changes.
they see
And with the
when they saw
changes, he
that
was
like
mostly
Immobile
impactful.
isn't scoring,
Um,
they were trying to find something else or someone else to get this job done, and that's yeah, exactly. And yeah,
for
with
English side, yeah.
Belotti like moving around Stone and it push
Although
them
if
back,
you
and
look at that
he's trying to
bench
do
and
something
you look at them,
in the
they
middle.
are there.
Yeah.
But it's
So
almost like
yeah,
you have
like they
you have
Mancini always try to
very
find this
expensive
thing,
cars
and
and
even if
toys, and you
I don't
just
know if
left them
he
unused,
made
basically.
it work with Balotelli, so I would have like utter respect for him. Like a little bit, yeah. They didn't know, yeah, they didn't know what to do, like how to get back, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or give you something different. I mean, in England side, if you even no no if you remember the 2006 or even 2008, English side had Emil Heskey, who was a very different kind of striker, more physical. He could
we
move here
talked
and there,
about this actually before
but
the
you
final.
had
Like
that Peter
we
Crouch.
talked
If
about
nothing
this
was working, at
changes,
least you have him
except for
as a
Grealish, there
point
weren't
of
any
attack,
like
and he could head
real
and bring it
superstars,
down
some
for
you know,
others to score. And
for English side, yeah.
um,
So
you need certain variation of attack, such as Immobile needs space to operate, and he was not getting any space, so Velotti came in for Italy. So you need some sort of variation in going into it. You just cannot be one dimensional and depending on one
also
way of attack.
also there is this
Um,
like
but again,
profile. like when we
I
talk
think
about
there's
Copa
definitely media
America,
pressure, and a lot of English media is
you were
basically
talking about
nonsense,
like
and
there
a
were
lot of
media
noise
pressure for
out of nothing.
playing local players,
Uh,
and
yeah.
I guess that's just
Anything
I have
else to
never
touch upon any other
seen I
places
actually
that we
like
have missed probably?
seen those pundits like in TV. They're saying that there is no um, replacement for Harry Kane. I guess that is one of the
No,
reason he
no.
actually played every minute of this, like almost every
I
minute of
think,
this whole tournament. And we talked about already like two striker who is not Harry Kane, but
well,
they can score.
if you're sticking with only English
So like
English ex players or English ex
yeah, so
coaches,
like
I don't really see
why
anyone better
why
than
would you have
Gareth
to
Southgate.
like
And Gareth
play as in
Southgate
a certain way?
somehow
Like
has overachieved within, given that whatever he is. Um, I really don't think if there is just
mm,
only English team, but if they go with like whatever they've done with Fabio Capello, or foreign coaches like Sven Goran Eriksson, Capello, or such examples, they might go and find better coaches. They have probably the best coach out there as in Marcelo Bielsa. But I don't think he you know he, they would go and approach them, because that would mean that their arrogance has to be reduced to normal level. With that kind of arrogance and everything, I don't really see, other than probably someone very closely worked in English Premier League. I really don't see someone like, say, Jose Mourinho,
yeah.
if he was around, or someone like who's been managed in English clubs for a long time, or been associated with the English team.
Um, who do you think can replace Southgate? I know they wouldn't actually
Yeah,
replace
but
him
again,
like someone like
Ancelotti,
Southgate in
yeah,
like
now
18 months,
he
but
always
who
end up
do you
going
think
back
can
to
replace?
Real
Because
Madrid whenever
this
Madrid
team can
is
actually like will
some sort of
play in
stability.
26, at least
But
most
yeah,
of the
to be
players will
honest,
play.
I don't see, and
So
I don't think it's going to
they,
happen
they
before the World Cup 2022. I think it's a very limited time. Whatever they've done is done. And if there is any kind of change happen, that's after that World Cup. But I have a question for you. Who was probably the best player of this whole Euro, according to the UEFA, that was Gigi Donnarumma. Uh, but according to you, who were the other players? Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, yeah, you're correct. There are definitely a few other players I thought, such as Patrick Schick of Czech Republic, but he couldn't really play much. Um, there definitely is Spinazzola, or even uh, at a certain point I was thinking even Nico Barella, but he didn't have a very good final. Uh, but all in all, I mean, it wasn't really a tournament that a player really dominated. It was more of a team that chipped in, and such as Denmark did very well without any kind of superstar. Same can be said
I don't
for
know,
England, although Harry
Ancelotti,
Kane
he was
can be
there for
technically
like
your
to
star,
guide
but he
the
didn't really
Chelsea.
contribute that much of a star. Um, yeah, I don't really have an answer. I think they couldn't find an answer, and they went with whoever saved the most penalties in the tiebreaker. Um, yeah. Anything else we want to talk about Euro 2020? Oh yeah, yeah. Go ahead. What match you did enjoy versus Ukraine?
I would actually give it to
Yeah, it was
Spinazzola
good.
because
Also, just to
like
mention,
watching him
Spain
play
versus
actually made
Croatia. Croatia
it
was
was
very good.
different actually, and
Um,
also
and in group
icon voting, and
games,
I
I had
haven't
fun
see
watching
a
Ukraine
win rate
versus
playing like this in
Netherlands.
major tournament for a while
Um,
actually.
but yeah, as the tournament kind of progressed, as the knockout stage went to the semifinals, I didn't really enjoy that
Yeah.
much in terms of that game end to end stuff. It was more kind of tactical and cagey, which you can expect. Uh, so yeah, before we wrap it up, any other thoughts on Italian victory? And would this win make means that Italy will be one of the major favorites in upcoming World Cup 2022?
Yeah.
Right, at least one of them. Yeah, yeah. It's funny you talk about Jorginho. A lot of people were hyping him for the Ballon d'Or. How do you see that?
Uh, Best match.
Yeah, he was just on the winning side, nothing else. If you want to give it to that, I
Well,
mean, why don't give it to Angel Correa,
this team match,
who was in Atletico Madrid,
France versus
was second
Switzerland,
most influential player after
and also the last
Luis
quarterfinals,
Suarez, and also
Sweden
um,
versus
on the bench, but he
Ukraine. Yeah.
he couldn't do much. But he won the Copa America, right? So yeah, just give it to him. Um, but
Yeah.
or even Rodrigo Di Paul, who had a very fantastic season with Udinese. I mean, a team such as Udinese and the amount of statistics he's pulling out, he was the best playmaker of that entire series and had a very good tournament in Copa America. Cannot do anything wrong basically, although he has missed penalties in the semifinal of Copa America. But as I'm saying, it's getting a little bit ridiculous. I mean, there's a lot of N'Golo Kante, and then thankfully Thiago Silva didn't win it. Otherwise, his name would have been dragged. And now, obviously, Jorginho. Um,
They
if
are right now
just think
actually
about it,
with
Arbeloa
this title,
was
and
winning
but
all
they
the
need to
Ballon
actually
d'Or just
improve in
because
some
he was part of that
case, like
Real Madrid team that
the
won
fair
Champions League,
share of
but he didn't
center
really play.
backs.
Or
I don't know, but
winning
at
the
least
Spanish national team
one of them.
Euro and World
Yeah,
Cup, but he didn't really play.
or
He
some
was on the bench,
replacement
but he
for
still wins it.
Jorginho,
It would be similar sort of
and striker,
ridiculousness
I guess that
that's
that would
that's
be
going on with
that's it
Jorginho.
actually.
Um, uh, Lewandowski
Well,
was,
but
if it was
I
given
don't know,
on the
like
last year,
I saw that actually, but it's
because last year was
I
it
think
was
it's a
suspended
little bit
because of the
exaggeration.
COVID-19, right?
Um, yeah,
But again, he scored definitely, but on Bundesliga, not undermining him or underrating him or underrating Bundesliga. But in Bundesliga, how many teams really have chance against Bayern Munich, especially of Hansi Flick's Bayern Munich? He was definitely scoring a lot of goals even in Champions League, but still, I mean,
well,
just to be realistic, I mean, if he's playing against Hoffenheim or someone like Ein- Eintracht Eintracht Frankfurt and the Hertha Berlins and others, you expect Lewandowski to score more than normal. Um, but yeah, he can be. He's more kind of legitimate, challenger rather than Jorginho. I take that because he has very good season. Yeah, I don't really see any other player winning it. If you remember in 2016, I think when the Copa America was he missed that penalty and he had a fantastic season up until then. They've given that reason to not give him that Ballon d'Or. But after how many years, 15 years of his professional career, he won first major trophy in the senior level. He has definitely won in the junior level, and also the 28 years drought with Argentina and beating Brazil in Maracana. It doesn't happen every year. So yeah, just and also looking at that Copa America and how that was
But
played
who
on
is
the
the
pitch
favorite?
condition and
I
everything,
want
and
to
how
see
he dominated the whole tournament, not
someone.
just in one sector. I mean, in every sector, he basically dominated. If you look at I was looking at the chart in the social media about
But
the Euros
he
top scorer,
scored,
top
he
assist,
broke the
the
Gerd
top
Muller's
chance created,
record.
and most pass completed, most attack, most shot on the
Yeah.
goal, and stuff like that. It was different players. Like there was Shaqiri, there was Cristiano Ronaldo, there was a lot of different players, right? And the stat for the Copa America came in, it was all Lionel Messi. It was ridiculous. Uh, so I don't really see. I mean, yes, Messi has done very well previously with Argentina in certain competitions and in certain tournaments, but I don't think there was ever a better statistically staggering and performance-wise a staggering performance from him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And even for Barcelona, his record is astonishing. He's created the most chances in entire Europe, and his assist is 14,
So
and he
Lionel
scored
Messi is
30 odd
it is
goals. Is Yeah. So if you go on those details, I mean, there's no way to beat Messi in any level. But even before going to that, on naked eye, you can say no. It has to be Messi. Um, on that note, we'll wrap it up. Uh, uh, I hope that I had to ask you a question. Is this one of the best Euro competition that you've watched? Yeah, in terms of matches, I don't remember there are a lot of good matches happening that frequently. It was free flowing. Yeah.
the man of the match. Oh,
Hmm. No, 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 definitely. There are a lot of teams have really played well out of their skin. But yeah, I don't remember any better tournament for Euros that has that many good games. Um,
also,
so I'll
I
just
would add
wrap it
that
up. I
he
think we're
won
kind of running out of the time as well.
more than 60% man
Well,
of the
thank you.
match.
Let you go. I forgot about it. As please, yeah, please making sure that you guys like, subscribe, and
Also,
share
he was the most
your
people
thoughts with
player.
us.
Like, yeah,
It would make immensely important for us to know that what are the things that you're liking, or you can participate as well. So please like and subscribe the channel, and we'll be back again with some more content.